Well, good afternoon. Michael and Israel here with a afternoon version of Tech Tuesday.
A lot going on this morning.
Yeah, yeah. We had somebody in here buying a Blue Sky, and had a lot of questions about getting a trolling motor rigged up on the kayak and all that kind of good stuff. So that's life around here, especially this time of year. But hey, we're here. Um, Little rainy day,
Yeah,
staying busy.
yeah. I was doing a demo while you were doing that, so I kind of got called away as well. So
All right.
it kind of worked out.
Well, so rigging department staying full up.
Mm-hmm.
I did see a couple of shipments we've gotten in the last week or so. Um, I know Falcons came in and
Baskets.
yep, some Bass Cats, and I think we got a few Avids not too long ago. So stuff slowly coming in. But guys, all right, as always, if you've got questions about technical aspects, marine maintenance, how to get your boat ready for this season or any season, I guess, throw them in the comments. Make sure you click into our post. So this thing, if it's shared, if you're in a group or something like that, make sure you click into the post and put it in those comments. That's what allows us to be able to see it because we're actually multicasting. So we're running to our Facebook page and to our YouTube, and then shared amongst a lot of groups. So I'm limited in still pretty amazing what technology can do these days. So
as long as they don't keep changing it up on you midstream,
yeah.
which Facebook likes to do.
Yeah. Hey, so I know we're not a tech channel, although we are Tech Tuesday. But Elon Musk, majority or bought the largest number of shares of Twitter now. I don't know if you've seen that out there. So
Well, I saw something with his face on it. I just didn't read it.
gotcha. Speaking of,
I was doing something else.
All this, how we communicate with each other. So, but I do have a couple of questions that I found out on the interwebs that I thought might be of interest. So I'm going to throw those up. But guys, if you've got a question, by all means, interrupt us. We'd rather answer your questions and talk with you. Let's see here. So this is can I paint my propeller?
Sure,
Thoughts on painting a propeller that
you can. I mean, just make sure you get it to stick good because you don't want moisture in between paint and metal because it's more likely to corrode. Even though it's a stainless prop, it still has
right.
carbon steel in there somewhere. So,
Well, do you what do you think?
do I recommend it? Not really.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Yamaha does have what was it? What's that stuff you get on pans, pots and pans?
Teflon?
Teflon coated.
The stuff you're not supposed to eat.
That's right. Yeah.
Gives you cancer
That's
or
right.
whatever.
Yeah. They've had some Teflon coated props are black, and you would think most Yamaha props that are black are aluminum, or Mercury's that are black are aluminum. But they actually did have some Teflon coated props out there. And people think they're aluminum, but they're actually stainless steel.
So I'm assuming if you rattle can that thing, you're probably probably not gonna have paint on there for too long.
No, it'll come back off, but
Yeah. Well, the painting process, especially in that application, I never knew.
it probably had to be some kind of paint that's baked on, something with hardener in it.
Um,
That's the only thing I would attempt. You could, I guess you could powder coat it. That's something not too hard to do if you got a sandblaster and something to powder coat with, which I do, and then an oven to bake it in, which I do.
all right.
But I probably wouldn't do it still.
Tim Taylor. Good afternoon, sir. Hope you are having a great afternoon and staying safe in the weather. I know you're one of local guys. We got some weather rolling through the state of Alabama, but hopefully you're getting out and doing some fishing, putting that skeeter to work. Okay, this week you got a question. That's awesome. I mean, not that we don't love just saying hey to you, Tim. Spring on my hot foot broke. I'll replace it myself. Anything I need to know before diving in?
It can be a pain in the butt, but I would there's a 9/16 jam nut, where it hooks to it's adjustable. What I would do is screw it all the way out, not to where it comes off, but where there's still nut threads
Okay.
in the nut are on there.
Yeah.
It'll just make it easier for you to get it on. You don't have to stretch it so far, and then tighten it back up and then put the pressure back on the spring, and then you have to use a open end wrench and a socket, tighten it back up. But that just makes it a little easier.
I'm going to be the safety geek, and since you're playing with springs,
Wear safety glasses.
Eye protection.
Yeah. And watch your fingers, because if that spring pulls off, it can go in your finger. So that's all I got on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck. That's, the other thing I might say is that you probably need to just leave that all the way down in future driving the boat. Don't doing a lot of this. You're going to put more stress on that spring. So hammer down, wide open, and let off of it and go fishing. And that's.
So you're saying be a typical bass boater?
Yeah. Well,
off and on.
I don't know. Timmy, you run wide open everywhere?
I bet he doesn't.
See, that's why I'm saying that. I see him as a guy that, he'll stop and enjoy the scenery for a little bit. And he's probably also not super excited about paying $4 and $5 a gallon in fuel. Excellent advice for the spring changing. Props to Angela and Misty for the help in getting the part. Man, getting parts is depending on the brands.
Yeah, we usually keep those. Usually have those anyway. Sometimes, we usually have props too, and we can't find any of those. So.
Even if we wanted to paint them.
That's right.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
There's your problem right there.
So, stripped the trim fluid reservoir. Any luck with tapping or plugging or putting a plug in? It's a Yamaha 225 2002. Any thoughts? I thought this might be a little more
technical.
A little trickier. I don't know. Can you plug that in any way? That hydraulic reservoir, or the trim fluid reservoir?
The only thing I can think of you could do is put a helical in it, or find a pipe thread. I mean, you could put a pipe thread type cap in there. You'd have to tap it to that, but you'd have to put some kind of thread lock on it every time you took it out. Because it's a tapered, bolt basically.
So what would you try to do to that?
I'd replace the top piece because I probably got 10 of them sitting out there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that'd be my go-to move. So.
Yeah, that's again. I saw that one. Thought that'd be a little curious.
Yeah, but I mean, push comes to shove, you could put a cap, national pipe thread. Tap it out to that, and then put pipe dope on it and screw it back in because it would hold, in a pinch. Because it's not something you have to access very often, unless you have a bigger problem. Then you may have to, if you have a leak or something, you're having to fill it up all the time. Then you might want to do something different.
All right. Well, here's an avid question. Running a 19XB, 16 hours. I've noticed I don't get enough bow lift. Trimmed up my boat is the 150 show. Mm-hmm. So for those that don't know, that Avid 19XB, that's a 19 and a half foot boat. 4-inch solid jack plate on top holes, Yamaha 21 pitch prop. It's 56 trimmed, 6,300 RPM. About a third of the boat is in the water. Any ideas on
as a buddy watching? See how much boat's in the water.
I think he's guessing. It would be my guess.
Well,
Thoughts on squeezing a little bit more out of that?
well, just and a lot of people think that more lift will give them more speed, but I've had boats that you can lift them to the sky and doesn't make them any faster, And then and a lot of times I've actually had boats that you got good lift and it wasn't to the sky, but it felt like good lift, and you bump it down a couple times, you actually gain 2 mile an hour. So lift's not always, going to get you any speed. So can you get more lift? Probably. You could put inverted wedges on it and get the nose to lift higher. You could put the little extensions on the trim rams on the backside. The contact plates. They make some that are half-inch longer. But in my experience, you usually don't gain much out of that.
I thought the hydraulic jack plate might gain them a little bit.
It could. It may hurt. So it may not help at all, which really hurts because you spend $1,500 getting it, between the jack plate and having it installed, and don't necessarily get anything out of it other than being able to go into a place that's a little shallower and being able to idle around. So.
All right, Fred. Naval aviator, by the way. I'm digging the profile pic. I'd love to know what'd you fly, Fred. Hey gents, I'm about to put a Bob's hydraulic jack plate on my Bass Cat. Can any brand blinker switches be used with a Bob's? What do you recommend? Most of them look somewhat flimsy. They're willing to spend some money.
Yeah, most of them are basically made the same. They use the same switch components. They dress them out a little different. Bob's is a little bit more, I guess, not as blingy, so they're usually a little less expensive, and they work exactly the same as like the what are the other two brands? One of them's blue, one of them's orange, but
do
you remember the name? Teenage Marine, I think so.
Yeah, the Atlas.
Atlas one, and then there's another one, whatever. They all made up.
Is there another? Bob's and Atlas are the two major ones.
Yeah, but there's one more, and one of them's blue, one of them's orange. But either way, it doesn't matter. They're all basically the same. They look different because they've got different plates and different screw-on knobs, but they're exactly the same thing. The only one I would say that's different are the ones that are made in Italy that a lot of Bass Cat guys use, and they have two little flippers right here. Can't remember the name of them offhand because it's a weird name.
Okay.
But those are pretty awesome. But they're a lot more expensive. They're like $300. So and
Sea Star.
Sea Star, that's it.
Is that the other?
See, I knew.
That's one we don't see a whole lot of. I think
Yeah.
TH Marine and Bob's are the two main ones we get in, right?
Yeah, and we have a couple different companies that come with them, and because they come with them, when we put a jack plate on, we try to order that same one so they match, or so they're used to that same color. It's like, why is this one blue now? I had an orange one on there. Oh well, this one was Teenage Marine. This one was So I think the orange one is the Sea Star one. Yeah,
all right.
So. But the Bass Cat actually has the weird blinker ones that are like paddle shifter looking things.
Mm-hmm.
I think they usually carry. If you can order a Bass Cat with those on them because I know Bill Mayo usually gets those put on his.
Is there? So no any big differences with the trim?
Fred, it doesn't matter. They all have the same bolt pattern.
I have the Sea Star tilt steering. Saw one post, so it might be an issue.
I put them on. I put both. I put all three brands on the same kind of boats, and I've never had an issue with any of them. So you should be fine. I would get the Bobs just because they're cheaper and you're getting the same components, unless you just want a little bit of flash. A little flash. The T&H Marine and the Sea Stars pretty much look identical. One of them's blue and the other one's orange. So you just pick which color you like the best and go with that.
All right. Well, Fred, glad. I guess hopefully that helps
I like
you out.
simplicity though myself. So.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I think we deal a lot with C Star, other C Star components, right? I mean, C Star is a brand. Any issues?
They all have issues. Everything. I hate it. You know. That's why I make a living, because things have issues. So.
Spoken like a true mechanic.
Sorry.
All right.
Which one has less issues? I guess the one that gets used the least.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but still gets used.
Yeah.
Because if you
don't let
use
them sit.
don't let them sit, because that's worse than using them too much.
Yeah. The 6-year-old boat that comes in here with 48 hours on it, and you go, oh, it's
or even worse, the guy that brings in the boat and says, it's been sitting 2 years, but it ran great.
2 years ago.
No, or 10 years. No, it's usually 10 years. Like it's been sitting 10 years, but when it was last time I used it, it ran great.
Well,
yeah, and nothing works on it. So.
All right. Well, Fred, thanks for the question, and thanks for your service. Yes. And even though you are a rotary wing guy, that's all right.
Those are the things I don't ride in.
Oh man,
60
Bravo?
Well, no, just helicopters in general.
Oh well.
It could be a 60 Alpha. As far as I'm concerned, I
got stuck in the back of Prowlers. So, yeah. All right. Let's. I had one more. Nope, actually, I didn't. That's all. We talked through the Avid stuff, so I think we've covered everything. So, with that, if y'all don't have anything else, good discussion. Jack plates, all the fun stuff.
Helicopters.
Timmy, oh man, we could have a whole other conversation about. Which, by the way, Top Gun 2 finally making it out.
Yeah.
So hey, it's got boats in it. It's got boats.
I will say, I think I was 5 or 6 when that came out, and my dad took me to the theater, and I hate to say this, but I did fall asleep in the middle of it. So I'm gonna go to the second one, and I'm gonna see if I can fall asleep through it.
Well, after a career in the Navy, you have to go see Top Gun too. So
it's very realistic too.
Oh, it's yeah. Yeah. That's a whole other show.
Maybe they'll have some helicopters in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That man, the Hilo guys don't ever get love. They don't. They are the forgotten stepchild of the Fly Navy. But there's a lot of stuff they do.
Even though they have the Seahawk. Isn't that what it's called? Like a Black Hawk, but
yeah. Well, that's the 60 Bravo.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. See,
yeah.
that shows you what I know.
Yeah.
I do like that helicopter.
All right. So, and I did see Timmy said he likes to enjoy stretching the time. I know he does enjoy the time on the water. So, but you gotta have a little fun with that Skeeter every now and again, and get the speed up. So, all right, guys, we're gonna jump out of here back to the chaos that is a Tuesday, second Monday.
It's only in the wintertime.
Oh, unlimited aviator. I like it. Okay. So yeah, we used to joke. I was on a carrier strike group staff, and we'd have no fly days when the carrier air wing doesn't fly fixed wing, and the helo guy on the staff would always raise his hand and say, "It's not a no fly day." Because the helicopters are always flying, right? That's the day when you're getting stuff on board, and they're slinging pallets over, and they're taking people out to all the small boys and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm happy you got to hang out with another aviator.
I am. Thank you. I appreciate it, Fred. I hope you come back. All right.
It depends on if they lose control or not.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to get out of here. I've enjoyed it. Thanks for making my day. And we will talk to you guys later on. See you next week.